Thursday morning. Welcome to Bowden Builders. You know, I'm going to have to take this off. I'm pure shouting as well, probably. Yeah, this is my new helmet from Timu, and as you can see, it's got everything on it, although I don't like the chin strap, but you need it because obviously when these are out the way, but you know, it'll be like top heavy sort of thing. But we'll give this a go, see what it's like, and then if it works well, I'll get the lads them, and then we've got no excuse for goggles or earmuffs then. However, I will stick to my... Some people don't know this is a hard hat, by the way. For those who don't know, I've had to take that off because otherwise if I start driving with that, people will look at me like, what the hell is he doing? You might think I'm like trying to get a car claim off them. I've got my helmet on ready to crash. But Ben's away now for a week, so I need to sort of plan what I'm going to do. Mick's been off for a while now, and I'm away tomorrow in Abersock, so yeah, it's like I'll have 3-4 labourers in tomorrow with no one else with them. How have I ended up in this situation? That's all my fault, innit? But I need to make a decision whether, obviously they're on the rip out now, surely I can leave them for a day on the rip out and know that they're not going to mess about or take the mick, or, you know, the most thing I'm worried about is them like doing something like, you know, breaking something or damaging or hurting themselves while I'm not there. So it's so hard. You've got this responsibility when, as soon as you take staff on, as soon as like you're telling people what to do on a job, it's just like this burden of, well, not burden, but this sense of responsibility that, and anything you can think can happen will. And like I've only been doing this 14 years, but I went away on holiday and a house fell down, so that's all I'm saying. So, but we've got the DVSA visiting the yard today, so I like to think we've done a good job of tidying everything up, levelling the ground, getting the barriers in a bit more level, and it did. So yesterday we were on the yard and someone drove past and, you know, was shouting stuff at me, saying that I've been you know, shouting, arguing with old women, and obviously one of them was his mum, and you know, you can imagine how he felt. However, afterwards, you know, his dad's come down, so I was going to share the video obviously on YouTube and obviously with the police because some of the things he was saying. However, his dad's come down, who lives on the road, and he basically just come down and said, look, you know, apologies for my son. He just obviously got a bit heated and a bit frustrated with the whole thing that's going on, and obviously as he's driven past he's seen you and sort of reacted, but you know, his comments weren't what they were meant to be. He was just obviously heated in the moment sort of thing, and he spoke to obviously his partner, his wife, and she said that I was, you know, I was polite to her, because I've tried this week to speak to as many neighbours as I can, just to sort of try and find out and, you know, educate myself sort of thing. Is there anything I can do to, obviously the first one I spoke to was about the noise, etc. So I've bought a silencer for the digger, because obviously the digger's from China and it's, you know, it is loud. I say that's the loudest thing we've got, but it's the smallest digger I can buy. But I've bought a muffler for the exhaust, so when that comes I'll be welding that onto the back, and what I'll do is I'll get a decibel reading before and after, and fingers crossed. I know it's never going to be, it's still going to be a noise which people aren't going to like. However, that's the loudest noise we've got on the yard. The forklift is absolutely silent. The crusher's silent. However, the hopper is loud. So when we use the hopper, when bricks are on it, it's that like that noise is not as loud as the digger, but that noise is louder than the actual motor or the crushing noise. But again, yeah, the only thing we can do with that is just that's only getting used as and when we need hardcore, so it's not going to be getting used all the time on the yard. So the crusher, I probably do. I haven't spoke to a few neighbours, and you know, they do make me see more from their side than obviously I'm looking at it from a selfish point of view of I need a yard. I've been waiting 3 years to get this yard, and it's all gone through, and I'm like in such a good mood, and I'm like, you know, dreaming big, saying, oh, we can do this, that, we could have this, that, and obviously it's the first time I'm going through it, so I'm just like spitballing ideas and looking at different bits. But the reason I bought the yard was just so that I could have somewhere to store all my stuff, so it wasn't on my driveway or I hadn't got containers here, there and everywhere, and obviously to be able to get a truck, because it sounds bad saying, oh yeah, like you're gonna get this big huge truck, but yeah, obviously there'll be a truck driving down the road, but it'll only be getting parked there. So when you say an operator's license, it's not going to be like a muckaway or anything like that. It's going to be like the truck will be parked there overnight. So in the day, it'll be out on the jobs getting used. So between 8 and half 4 is what we work. Between those hours, it'll be out. So it'll be sort of me turning up, driving it away to the jobs, getting used, and then obviously we might come back in the day and load scaffolding, or you know, get a pallet of bricks and take them the job. But like that, you know, it's not going to be like operating 24/7. That truck's going to be coming back and forth, and you know, I'm hoping that if I just keep that as a storage yard, and then, you know, if it helps my business grow and we do well, I can look at buying a bigger site that's, you know, in an industrial area. But at the moment, like, I cannot afford one of these sites. I could rent, but for me, renting's dead money. I'm always looking at the bigger picture. I want to hand something over to Anderson, my son, that is, you know, a company that owns these assets, and you know, and you look at like what happened with COVID. If like I buy all the vans and machinery outright, if we were in COVID and I had monthly rentals on all the machines, the vans and the yard, we'd have gone bust. We wouldn't have lasted 2 months with all those payments coming out and nothing coming in. So I've looked at that now and thought that's my way of sort of trying to future-proof it. I mean, I've got a big mortgage on our house now because I've done that to get money to buy the yard. So the yard, like, you know, I don't own the yard outright in the sense that, you know, I'm still paying monthly for it. I worked out it probably cost me about £600 a month, the mortgage on that yard for what I've added to our house, basically. Because I can't get lending on the yard when it's, you know, it's just a yard. So that, hopefully that explains why, you know, I've not been able to. And for me as a builder, I would never buy a house that's fully done and like a new build and then go in and renovate it, because there's you know, that doesn't make sense. There's no money, there's no value to add. Same with the yard. So I looked at it and thought, well, this yard's come available and I can build the yard and add value to it. So if obviously we got all that done, it's all, you know, it's a usable yard, like it's got value. Then if he ever needed to obviously sell it or move on or anything, that like obviously I've added that value to it, and that's like the philosophy of, you know, my company and every other building company and developer. Obviously you want to try and add as much as you can. I just realised I've come this job and they're probably on the other job. Go and have a look. But yeah, I mean, I haven't spoken to a lot of the neighbours. I do get that, and hopefully I can try and answer some of their bits, and anything to sort of put at me, I've obviously tried to answer them. I've showed them evidence of everything, and I get it. Like, no one's ever going to be, even if I, like one of the neighbours said, you know, you've got all the answers to it, you know, all these issues that we're coming up with, you know, you've always got the answer for them. And I think, well, if I didn't have the answers, if you turned around and said, well, you said that blah blah blah, and I just went, like, I haven't got an answer for that, you'd turn around and go, oh, I've got you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're up to no good and stuff. Whereas I am providing answers because it's just me being honest and open and trying to share what my plans are. And I get it. I did say to one of the neighbours, I said, look, I'll hold my hands up and apologise. I've probably been a bit too excited and too, you know, dreaming big, which obviously I've got this land, and to them it's a tiny piece of land in a residential estate, but to me that's the biggest piece of land I've bought. And so to me it's like I've got all these big ideas and stuff. But just to clarify now then, obviously having spoken to all these different departments and stuff, we're not going to have a brick crushing facility there that like obviously comes and goes. The brick crusher will be stored there, and the idea of our brick crusher is that it's mobile and we take it to site. And obviously the only reason we're using it on the yard now is because the yard at the minute is the development, is the site, so we're allowed to use it on there. We're allowed to bring material to it as long as it's getting used on that site, which is what we've been doing. So we're not going to have, you know, the plant I was designing in China. That'll have to wait till the next yard that I've got a more appropriate location for. And then, so really, it's just going to be a storage yard. And yes, it's called Bowden Builders Merchants, but that was because obviously I wanted to try and buy stuff in bulk and obviously save money for the extensions that we're doing and whatever. So the manufacturers told me that they don't sell to a builder because it's called double dipping and it's like not fair on the competition, etc. So it's not going to be a merchants really either. I only done that name because of the suppliers were telling me to, really. But now I've got the yard and it's like I've put stuff on it. So if I have my trailer there, my crusher, my digger, my scaffolding, the shifters, the, you know, pallets of brick, like I haven't got space for materials. So I've realised that now. So it's like, again, all these things change. So hopefully I can try and sort of ease some of the neighbours' concerns, because I think that was the major one, that it was going to be a B&Q or a Gems or a, you know, a Beasley and Fileds. But, you know, as of today, it's not going to be that. I just thought I'd open a little DIY shop because I only need, like, obviously like an Adams and Barrow size, which obviously Adams and Barrow don't even have any parking or anything outside there. People just come and go and just have hand tools, because we can get discounts on hand tools if we've got that shop facility. So that was the idea with that. If we can do that, great. I feel like it wouldn't cause loads of traffic and it would give a benefit to the community if you can come in and buy, you know, a DIY shop. If not, you know, no worries. I'll just keep it as a storage yard for my tools and to park the truck overnight. Hopefully, you know, hopefully that answers a lot of people's questions or concerns. But, you know, if there's anything else I can do, I'll only do what I'm allowed to do. Do you know what I mean? I've bought it. I know people are contesting it was a yard, or are contesting that it wasn't a merchant space, it wasn't a B&Q, which I get that, you know, it wasn't a B&Q. Obviously it was a builder storage yard. So that is the main reason I bought it, and to get an operator's license. That they're the two, like, the only reason. So if I can only get that, you know, I'm happy with that, because that is the reason I bought it. All this other stuff's been, like, you know, evolved from conversations with different departments or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna go into this job now, and we'll see how they're getting on with the rip out. So try and get obviously non-recycling and wood. So we can probably leave the bathroom for a bit now. Get obviously all this flooring up, all the wood. This one feels like it's dipping that side as well. You can see the skirting. Carpets. Sound. So I'm gonna have to take Tony with me today, because Tony's the only one who can drive the van out of all these. But yeah, nice. Right, yeah, the same. We'll grab them off and then put them on end of the day. How far? That one's a bit away, isn't it, from being full, the non-recycling. And then that one we can get a bit more wood on, can't we? Yeah. Sound. Alright, I'll get Tony, the only one who can drive them now, isn't he?
Can he drive them?
Yeah. And he's over 30. That's the rarest thing in the world, isn't it? When are you doing your test, Dave?
My bird keeps going on about it. I'm going to get down to it, mate. That's what I can't drive.
Just not legally?
I haven't passed it.
Well, we won't do a video of you driving the van then.
No, definitely not.
Right, Sean, I better get the yard.
What time do you meet?
10:30, I think.
Is it? From the gate.
Every single time we use this, you know, tilt that back, we're just getting nails and screws, like. So, oh bless me, I'm just trying to level this bit off, really. So I probably need to push some of it this way, looks like. But yeah, hopefully you can see we're getting a bit tidier and cleaner on the yard. And made up with these skips now. Although we haven't tipped anything with them yet, I haven't seen it in action. But yeah, they're bigger than I thought. Again, yeah, if anyone's looking for these type of skips, these make all different styles of them. Paranoid to use the forklift on here, because one, it'll get stuck, and two, it'll get a puncture looking at, you know, how much metal Tony's picked up. Look at this bucket. Bear in mind, Tony emptied this by accident because he didn't realise I was wanting to. Look at that. That all come off this yard. And there's some meaty ones in here as well that would have gone through like a HCV. Yeah, just need to decide where to put everything, really. So I know I'm going to put the bricks there. I'd like to wrap them, and I've got the strapping kit in there as well. Oh, I haven't got the other bits for it. It'd be good to wrap them and strap them as well. Just so we can start, and then if we can get them stacked up against each other, obviously the next house we do, we'll just be bringing, hopefully we'll have pallets on the tipper, and we'll put the full bricks on the pallet. Yeah, studying as you walk around, I feel like that last load I got, the recycled one. That's the only issue when you are getting recycled loads, that bear in mind that they're going to fall through the crusher, aren't they? So I feel like I bought a Jeez, I feel like I bought a wagon full of metal and it's going to cost, if we save one puncture on the forklift, it'd pay for itself. That metal magnetic wheels. So yeah, I feel like I'm just twiddling my thumbs now, waiting for this inspection today. Let's see what we can tidy up. Yeah, your vlog debut. I know you've been in one before, haven't you? Did you do one the other day? No. So just finished on the yard, and fingers crossed, all the hard work we've just done this week, you know, clearing the yard, making it all tidy and neat and flat. Hopefully, you know, that's served its purpose. But I'm like quietly confident that it went well. So we've had obviously the DVSA inspectors out, and they've obviously been checking the site to see if it's suitable to park a truck. And I say fingers crossed they say it is, because we are struggling at the minute to like move stuff around, and I'd say we're always pushing the barn, pushing towards the limit of what we can carry. I think every builder's the same, but if we can get obviously if we can get a truck or a bigger van, anything that's bigger than what we've currently got now is a bonus. So yeah, we'll just have to await their decision and see what they come back with. So we're just going to, we've had lunch then, and we're just going to go to the student jobs now and see how the lads are getting on with the rip out. Yeah, you're in the hot seat though. So part of my fleet insurance is that I've got to take everyone out on a test drive before they can drive. I don't know how that works, because how would you take someone on a test drive without without them being on the fleet insurance? I was going to say, sometimes if you knock this with your knee, it goes into plus and minus. So yeah, you go left here. What can happen is if you knock that with your knee, like I'll do it in a minute when you turn here, and on the dash you'll see the bit where it says, see on the bottom it says PRND. Yeah. So if I do that now, look, see the D's turn to a 4. Oh, yeah. So now you're in third gear, now you're in second, but then it will stay in that. Oh, okay. So if you were going up a hill, say, that was dead steep, and the gears are like struggling, and then to get out of it, there you go, right, and then to get out of it you just keep flicking until it goes back to D. Okay. Well, sometimes I knock it with my knee sometimes, and then you're there going, it doesn't change gear. It doesn't change gear, and you're thinking, what's going on? So I'm going to go to Biffa now with Tony and obviously show him obviously the way, where it is, and how you go on the weighbridge. You have to get the radio, you have to do what else, obviously we've said about the net and stuff. And then when we get back, hopefully the lads will fill the non-recycling tipper, and we'll take the non-recycling to Oldham Brothers, and then they're the two that we use really now. I'm trying to think if there's any others. Oh yeah, Minster, sometimes you go there to pick stuff up, but ideally I'll order everything in the right time and we won't have to do that. But it's next door to Oldham Brothers, so I'll be able to show you that anyway. Alright, so we're at Biffa now, and all this bit we've had to throw off the tipper because this was the wrong side of the door and was like that, and there was no way of opening the gate, so I've had to jump up. Well, I've started taking the tailgate off, trying to release a bit of pressure underneath, but now there we go. Have you put the strap on that one, and it's just like a combination of things. Like, one, when I had these gates made, he put the mesh on the wrong side, so maybe this is a reminder that I need to go and get that another mesh made on the inside, because obviously the pressure's too thingy. Like if you go in, you know where the button is for this? I'll show you. So obviously take this, normally you don't have to take the back gate off, you'll just fold it down, but I've only took it off because of that. And then see at the back here, you press that, so press that button and that'll tip it up, and then we can get out of here. Hopefully the rest falls off without getting caught, but the next tip is going to have solid sides, one sheet, so that everything slides out. We're just waiting for that flatbed to break. Nice. And then you'll tip it all the way up. And then what you'll do is jump in and drive forward. And then when you're on here, always check this. So I was on here once and see that pin had come loose. So every time you tip, just check that pin, and then that's fully up now, yeah. That's it. Now you'll jump in and obviously drive forward. But yeah, check that pin and then we'll grease it every time we... Yeah, keep going, yeah. Keep going, yeah. Yeah, go on. Right, stop there a sec. And I'll just get these last bits off. And then do you want to drop the back? Just that one piece of wood at the top there, I'll jump in and grab that. And then put the nets back. And I'll show you how it should have been done. So this is how it was meant to have been done. And that way, whatever weight comes into it, we can always take these pins off and still open the gates. But yeah, lesson learned. And then one thing is, make sure these are tight. We don't want them bouncing out on the motorway. Yeah, quite a lot of wood there, isn't there? So bash all that up. And then apparently that wood goes to Scotland. Seems a bit of a trek, doesn't it? Like a bit of a diesel bill. Right, what do they do with that now? So back on the student job now, and obviously I was expecting this to be full, but it's not quite full yet, and non-recycling, so there's no point taking that. And I got these off that Temu website. I thought I'd give these a go. And they're like a metal zip tie, and I don't know if you can see it, but it just has like a little ball bearing in. And somehow that obviously it works, but just put them on anywhere that's got like a loose bit of metal from where we've been using the thing. Like I say, this should have been on the inside like these ones, so that if you fill it with stiff, it pushes back onto the thing rather than just, because worst case scenario is you'd be on the motorway and that pops off a weld and all your load just fills out onto the motorway. So obviously we're just going to put metal ones onto wherever looks like it needs it, like here, look. So I mean, I think this happens where that other tipper there, it's on its last legs. But yeah, I'm going to put one of these on here now. Let's see if I can do it. All you need, 3 hands. Yeah, I'll come and do this one and I'll film it. Put one on there and then I'll put another one on that corner. But yeah, it's weird how it goes in, innit? Because it's flat. So like, obviously push that in there now. How's that? Like, you think that wouldn't hold, but it does. It's weird. And it's not like a normal zip tie where you pull it back. It's like, you just push it in, it sticks. Weird, that, isn't it? Well, good though, because obviously, hopefully these will take a bit more punishment. Any of us. And I can't remember what these cost. I'll have a look on the thing, but they were next to nothing. Thought I'd try loads of stuff. But some of the Temu stuff, one of them I was laughing at then. It was like a roll of sandpaper, and it had all different sizes, and it burns my head out when people ask me for all different size sandpaper and it'd be easy if we had this, it'd be easy if we had that, and it's always the other one that I haven't got. So if they want a 40 grit, you know, or I'll get a 40 grit and they'll want a 120 grit. Let me try and get this one. So what else has happened on this van is that when you go to close these, it's always a bit of a fight to get that in. So obviously when we made these, they fitted perfect. However, now either something's bent or moved or whatever, but I'm just gonna drill out obviously this circle bit. So I just need to drill the top out on this one, and then I'll have a look at what side I need to do that one on. But yeah, let's get that bit. I don't know how much I can share. However, I'm going to record this because I just need to get my initial reaction to it. And so the planning consultants just rang me and said the council, the planning department, have just sent them a letter to say that the trees that are on the street that the council own, like outside the yard, etc., they've just made them protected. So they've got tree protection orders on TPOs, which means that they've got an excuse to refuse my planning on the basis that any structure, if it was any structure, could potentially damage the roots of these protected trees as of today. So as of, they were meant to, they messaged saying they were going to make a decision on the planning by yesterday, but as of today the trees have just been given a TPO status, and now they're going to make a decision on the planning. So we've asked for a meeting because I've said, look, I want to, you know, I don't mind going into the offices, and it'd be good to obviously speak to the planners and see what we can do to obviously appease any concerns, or if we can change the structure, the design, the height, the width, the depth, whatever, just to see what we're allowed to do, what we're not allowed to do. But I mean, you've just got to laugh, haven't you, thinking they've put a tree protection order on like as an excuse to refuse the planning. I don't know. I'm lost now. I don't know. Planning is definitely not X, Y, and Z. It is very subjective, and I thought I've got an email off the planning officer saying X, Y, Z. I thought that was, you know, that they wouldn't give any sort of emails out like that unless it was, you know, factual or right. Or however, I've now been told that any email you get off the council is that planning officer's opinion, and it's not gospel, and it's not factual. It's not. The only way to do it properly is to apply for planning or a lawful development certificate. So I should have applied for a lawful development certificate so that confirm the use as a builder's yard, and then applied for planning. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It is a bit confusing, but it just seems to keep moving the goalposts to suit, obviously, however many people are moaning. So maybe I do get people to message into planning showing support for the yard, like anyone local who does actually think that it'd be a good thing, or I don't know. But yeah, it's like, where do we go from here? I don't understand how they can do that, but obviously they can, unless we have to then go to an appeal. I just feel like whatever they're doing now, if it went to like an appeal status, that it would surely be better for me if they're, you know, any bits that anyone who like it'd just be common sense, wouldn't it? Like if I just told everyone who's watching this, like if I said that to you, oh listen there, they've just made a tree protected and now said that, you know, it's likely that my plan's going to get refused based on that, you'd be a bit like, well hold on, that's not fair, is it? Because you've only done that deliberately to stop the planning application. But so you'd hope that the same if it went to an appeal, someone looking at it with fresh eyes would be a bit like, oh, he's getting a bit hard done by, this fella. But yeah, who knows? Like, gotta go in and do loads of emails now. So it's one of my favourite times of the day, and I've just got back to the porch and I've got all my deliveries. So first one is, can you guess what that is? So it's an exhaust muffler. So this is going to get welded to the digger, and hopefully this will obviously reduce the decibels of the digger. So, you know, one of the neighbours mentioned about the noise, and I'm, you know, trying my best to do bits I can. These are 4 new belts for the crusher because 2 of the belts snapped. So I thought, let's get some new belts done. It's quite hard to measure these actually, so I'm hoping I've got the right ones. This is a work jumper, and no, it's not for Simo, it's for Anderson. So hopefully I got 3 to 4. It looks small. Hopefully that fits them. And then we've got you seen the other day I got the trolley. Well, this is obviously the tension and strap. So we've got 1,000 meters of obviously plastic tape. We've got the crimps, the crimper. This is obviously what tightens it. So all them bricks we've got in the yard, we can get them properly tightened so that when we pick them up the forklift, we know when they're not gonna move. But that's it. Yeah, that's package time over. And I'm gonna go in and get showered. It's roasting today. Well, I hope you've enjoyed Thursday's episode, and if you are enjoying it, please do like, comment and subscribe. Get comments, we get loads of views, not many people comment, good or bad. You know, I say, if you're a neighbour watching and there's anything I can do, like get a muffler for me exhaust, yeah, let me know.